Good afternoon. 2 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon. I'm taking the Mark IV Fiesta out for a bit of a short run. And I thought I'd take a video. I'll tell you a bit about the history of this car.
Heating off.
Turn him off. And how long I've had it. This is a Mark IV Fiesta from 1999, which I bought in 2018. So I've had it for, 7 years now. It's just had a new MOT and it didn't need any work doing. That's not suggesting that it's perfect, because it isn't. No 26-year-old car is perfect. There are one or two things that need doing. There is a very slight leak on the exhaust, but it didn't affect the MOT. I know it's there because it makes a kind of whistling sound. Sometimes you can hear it, sometimes you can't, but it goes up and down according to engine speed. Can't hear it at the moment. Sometimes you can. So that's something I need to do. It's a downpipe on the exhaust. Apparently it's got a very small hole, but not enough to expect. Not enough to affect the emissions or anything that the MOT guy was interested in. I can't hear it now. I heard it earlier this morning. You can hear a slight whistle on it. But it seems okay at the moment. Other things this car needs doing. Is I need to get some petrol actually. I've got a quarter of a tank. It looks like rain. I thought I heard some thunder earlier. It's the end of that heat wave we were having, so... Anyway, I bought this car from... I wasn't actually looking for a Mark IV Fiesta when I bought it. At the time, I had a Daihatsu Sport Track 4x4, and that had blown its head gasket twice. So I decided to get rid of that, and I was looking for a cheap runabout. And this just happened to catch my eye when I went online to look for second-hand cars. I wasn't even looking for a Fiesta, there was a picture of it. It was a dealer in Stockport, over near Manchester, and it was £400 with an MOT, and it looked very tidy, so I thought, that's good. That will do as a runabout, because I've never had a Mark IV before, so I thought this would be my first Mark IV. So I got the dealer in Stockport. In fact, I got it delivered. I paid £500 all in. I think was it priced at £450. Anyway, I got him to deliver it to Sheffield. Now it only had 2 years. 2 years. This is completely unreal. It had 2 months MOT on it, but from the pictures it looks so good. I thought, I'll take a risk. Assuming it won't spectacularly fail the MOT. So I bought it and I got it delivered, and it was okay underneath. A little bit of surface rust, but nothing major. And it didn't need much work doing for the first MOT when I had it. I can't remember how much it cost me. It needed a few little things doing. Did it need any welding? I'm trying to remember if it needed welding. Might have had some small amounts of welding on the sill. Can't remember now, it was 7 years ago. But anyway, I was happy with it. Now, as I said, I wasn't specifically looking for a Mark IV Fiesta, it just happened to be up for sale. But I'm no stranger to Fiestas. My first Ford in the Fiesta range was actually a Mark II, which was going back about 25 years. I had a Mark II Fiesta. It was an E-Reg 1987. Absolute rubbish. I never did like the Mark II engines. They just didn't. That was going to go up there. Can we go up there? Yes, we can. I thought that was closed. No, it isn't. Go out to the countryside briefly. So my first Ford Fiesta was a blue 1987 Mark II. Didn't like it. I thought the engine was rubbish. it was low mileage, but it was just so sluggish. Then I bought a Mark 1, an S-Reg 1977 Mark 1, which was superb. It flew along. Although it was still an 1100 engine like the Mark 2, it was just better. The earlier versions of the Kent engine had more power, and the gear ratio was superb. You could just fly up hills practically in 4th gear in the Mark 1s. I loved it. And although they were kind of pushed to the limit doing 70 miles an hour on the motorway, I loved it, and I had loads of Mark 1s. I'm going droopy there on this thing. So yeah, at one time I had about 5 Mark 1s parked outside the house because I just couldn't stop collecting them. Now these are the days when Mark 1s were incredibly cheap, in the kind of mid-1990s. You could buy one for about 250 quid on eBay with an MOT. Wouldn't that be great now? Because decent ones with an MOT are kind of between 7 and 10 grand, if not more. Anyway, I accumulated quite a few of them, and I love them. I thought they were brilliant. Never had a Mark III Fiesta so far, and this is my first Mark IV, and I've loved it so much. I've had it for 7 years, and the Mark IVs with the Endura engines, well, they're never going to be. This is 0 to 60 in about 10 years. They are not known for their performance. They're just rock solid little chug about engines that will just go on and on for ages. And this one, it doesn't sound like a bag of nails like some of them. It does sound quite good, even with 120. Is it 124? Yeah, it's got 124,000 miles on the clock, and it's still okay. As I said, they're not powerhouses. You won't win any races with these. You'll always come last, but it will still get you from A to B reliably, just a bit on the slow side. What lets these cars down is, in fact, the engine power matched with the gearbox ratio. Sometimes these will really struggle to go up hills. Even small inclines, 3rd gear, it can really struggle. Have to drop down to 2nd sometimes. That's the only thing about these. The power, and it's a 1.3 injection, but they're just nowhere near as zippy as the Z-Tech versions that were available in the Mark IVs. Now, I've had a Z-Tech engine from this period, but it wasn't in a Fiesta, it was in a Ford KA, and it would have been the same engine that was in the Mark IV, Mark V Fiestas. And yeah, the Z-Tech engines are very zippy. But the one I had the car for 2 days and it blew its head gasket, and I wasn't even pushing it, so I was quite unhappy about that. And my experience of the Z-Tech engines was not good for longevity. They were zippy, they had power, but they were forever giving problems with the head gaskets or the timing chain, timing belts on those. Hey, that's the great thing about these, the Enduras, they have chains on them and not belts, so they will last a lot longer. I believe this one will have the original chain on it and not a belt. Yeah, I think so. So we're heading out into the country in my Mark IV Fiesta. On this, it's going to rain actually, so I'm not going very far because I do need some petrol. Oh, that was a cow. Not in the car, you understand, it was in the field over there. Now you can put your foot down in these and get up to speed. You just don't get there very quickly. Which does make pulling out at roundabouts when you really want a narrow space and have to get into it very, very quickly, this is not the car to do it. You'd be better off just waiting for a bigger space. Trundling along in my Mark IV Fiesta. I'm going to make lots of these videos. She is in pepper red and she is called Pepper. simply because that's her colour. So I called her Pepper when I first got her in 2018. I thought, I name all my cars. I've named all my cars, either based on their number plates or based, in this case, on the colour. I would certainly have no hesitation about getting another Mark IV from this period. And at some point I might even try a Mark V. Not had a Mark V yet. As I said, I've had Mark IIs, Mark Is, never had a Mark III. Came close to getting a Mark III once on eBay, but I got outbid and I wasn't paying more than £500 for it. But I might, they're going up in value now, but I might get a Mark III. I like the look of the Mark IIIs because they have bigger windows. They just look a lot more spacey inside than the Mark IVs. The Mark IVs have kind of smaller windows, because I prefer the old-fashioned look of the Mark IIIs. I don't think I'm going to have a Mark II again. I never really liked the Mark IIs. And the most powerful one I had a 1.3 gear Mark II, an A-Reg, and a very early one from 1984, but that got killed by rust, and the engine had a major fuel leak and various other issues when I got rid of it. So I'm thinking of doing some work on this, maybe seeing if I can get any more power out of it. I have heard that you can put on different air filters, different exhausts, and you will get a bit more power. So if anybody watching this knows what's the best way you can really get more power out of this without spending a lot of money. The Endura 1.3 injection engine. What can you do with it? Different air filter, different exhaust. I know you can get remapped chips, but I think I did look into that one, so I couldn't find any for sale. So I don't know if I want to go to all that trouble. Just little things like a different air filter. Does that make any difference on the engine power? Particularly not the overall speed. I'm just looking for a bit of a zippier response, particularly when wanting to move quickly. Because these will quite happily go up to 70 miles an hour plus. But as I said, you don't get there quickly. If you're interested in where I am, on the A57 Snake Pass. Just been heading out west. I'm now heading back towards Sheffield, going east. I can hear the whistle on the exhaust now. So it's not incredibly loud. You probably wouldn't notice it unless you were listening for it. So, to do something with that, I think. Though, as I said, it wasn't an MOT issue, which surprised me, because I had heard it before I took it for the MOT, but MOT guy wasn't bothered. Didn't even give me an advisory on it. Just said there's a very small hole, but it hasn't affected the emissions, and don't seem to have a problem with it anyway. It's a bit cooler today. I didn't take the car out yesterday afternoon because it was about 30 degrees. And it wouldn't have been as enjoyable. It's a little bit cooler. Not a lot, but a bit. So, I will be doing some Mark IV driving videos. Because it's a nice car to drive. She's just had a service as well at the same time as the MOT. So she's had fresh oil, I think new plugs, everything topped up. I'll probably talk about it in later videos, but there is a slight coolant leak on this car somewhere. I've never been able to find it, but it'll go through about maybe an inch or two of coolant every couple of weeks. I just have to top it up slightly. But if there is a leak, I cannot find it, and it doesn't seem to be I haven't got any white smoke, so I don't think it's a gasket issue. So I don't know what it's doing with the coolant. Unless there's a small hole somewhere and it's just evaporating out, that is a possibility. I haven't done a pressure test on it, maybe I should do that at some point. But as I say, it doesn't use a lot of coolant, it's every couple of weeks. Just have to top it up a bit. So I want to look into that at some point. Doesn't use any oil. Very rarely needs topping up. Fuel consumption is good. I put now I always get these the wrong way around. Is it E10? That's the older type petrol, and E5 that's the newer one. Or which way round is it? Why do I always get that wrong? But anyway, she likes the older type of petrol, but she does run with the modern E whatever it is with more ethanol in it. But while there's no difference in engine performance at all, it just uses a lot more of it, filling the tank more often using the newer petrol. It doesn't go nearly as far on the Enduro engine, I have noticed that. So I always stick the older type in if I can. Fortunately, everywhere I go it's still available everywhere. So I only use the greener petrol if there's no space at the pump, which isn't very often. It's quite a pleasant little drive. I'm heading back home now, just gone round in a loop. I'm on the Rivelin Valley Road. Now, if you watch my YouTube channel, you'll know I'm making a series about Rivelin Valley called the Rivelin Valley Summer Journal. If you haven't checked it out and you like nature trails and industrial relics of old water wheels and things like that, check out the videos. If, however, you just want to watch Fiesta videos, that is my car passion at the moment. Now, I'm in Sheffield, and if you know anyone that has a Mark 1 for sale, I am looking for another Mark 1, but the price has got to be right, because some people are asking crazy money for Mark 1 Fiestas, particularly if they're special editions. I'm just looking for a fairly run-of-the-mill Mark 1 Fiesta, just a 1.1, a base, or even an L. Although I'd like a GL or a gear, but I don't really want to be spending huge amounts of money. And I'm looking for one that is ready to go, not a project or a barn find. While they're very easy to work on, which is great, I don't really have the time to do any major restoration work. So we're on to the country lane that leads back to my house. She hasn't missed a beat yet. I did notice last week she was missing a beat here and there, but I think that's because she just needed a service and some new plugs. Seems a bit better now. sky looks like it's about to chuck it down any second. So I might just get home before the storm. My cat was cowering under the bed earlier. She usually does that when she can sense that there's a storm coming. Cats can do that, can't they? Dogs as well. They sense the change in the air pressure or something. Oh, there's work going on at the Riverlyn pub that's been closed for a few weeks. That was supposed to be reopening as a pub, but there's some building work going on, so I don't know quite what they're doing there. Doing something with it. Maybe it won't reopen as a pub. Maybe they're turning it... Some people said it was going to turn into housing. So I don't know. I'll have to ask some questions. But I might take some video there, because that pub, the Riverlyn, was pretty much part of the Riverlyn Valley Trail, and if it's not going to be a pub anymore, that leaves only one pub on the trail, and that is the Hollybush, where I have already filmed, although that video is not on YouTube yet. This is the first time I've made a video using a camera, so I'm aware I don't normally talk to myself when I drive, and I remember this. The support for it is a bit limp. I need to tighten that up. So hence, this is not the most exciting driving video ever. I'm just a minute from my house now on this very annoying bit of road where if you meet a bus, because cars are parked on both sides of the roads, you have to reverse, and it's so annoying. So, my Mark IV Fiesta, you will be seeing more of Pepper.
The yellow